Named one of the outstanding 5 speakers in the world.
Inducted into the Speaker Hall of Fame.
Award-winning singer.
Best-selling author.
And now, here's Willie Jolly.
And we have only just a minute, only 60 seconds in it. Forced upon us, we can't refuse it. Didn't seek it, didn't choose it, but it's up to us to use it. We must suffer if we lose it, give account if we abuse it. Just a tiny little minute, but our eternities are wrapped up in it. Welcome everybody to the Willie Jolly Wealthy Ways show. And I'm so excited about the opportunity to be on with you and to share with you some ideas to help you do more, be more, and achieve more, and to win more. So welcome, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you who have made this show part of your routine and made this program something that you share with your friends and family members. I want to thank all of you who've continued to share not only the show, but the podcast, and telling people you got to listen to this, because every time it comes on, there's something of value that will encourage, inspire, uplift, empower you to do more, be more, and achieve more. So thank you. I also take a moment to do that God's minute, and then I take a moment to give God some glory, to thank God for life and strength and health, to thank God for being able to do this, and thank God for all the gifts of being alive and in life, still in life. In these challenging times, to still be here is a blessing. So I'm grateful. I know everybody doesn't believe like I believe, but I am not trying to convince you. I'm just trying to let you know who does the buttering and the bread is on what side of the bread is given to me to be buttered, and who does all of that. So I'm thankful. Now, today, I am so excited about this show, because this is a show that literally will inspire you. I'm telling you right now, it will inspire you, it will encourage you, and it will hopefully also motivate you to do something, to take action. We're living in a challenging time where we're seeing a pandemic, followed by economic downturn, followed by massive job loss, followed by racial strife, the killing of a man for no reason other than the fact of the color of his skin, which created social upheaval. And we're living in all of this at the same time, which is having a disruptive time on everybody's life, on their business, on their families. But yet in the midst of it, there's some good news. Many of you know I have a Saturday morning new program called the Jolly Good News Report on my Jolly Good News Facebook page at 10 o'clock Saturday morning, where I try and give every week some good news. In the midst of so much depressing, discouraging, and down news, you need some up news, some positive news. And I do a half hour every Saturday morning. Join me on that. And so today I'm going to give you that same kind of good news. And I'm going to bring on somebody who was one of our most popular guests over the last couple seasons. This gentleman was on the show this last season. I saw him on television. I saw him on television on the NBC Nightly News with Lester Holt. And he was so inspiring to me. I called his office and I said, I want to interview him. And we made it happen. He and I talked and just clicked. And I feel like he's a brother from another mother now, I'm telling you. And so his name is Harris Rosen. If you've ever been to Orlando, anywhere in Orlando area, you have seen the Rosen Hotel chain. He started the hotel. If you didn't hear his story, I want to encourage you to go and get the podcast on iHeart, C-Suite, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Look for the Willie Jolly Wealthy Ways podcast and listen to his interview. He started working at Disney and bought it's such a funny story. I won't repeat the whole story, but he bought a kind of old, decrepit hotel that this guy couldn't run. He didn't have any money to buy it, but he found a way to start this small hotel, which has been built into an empire. So I am so grateful that he's my friend and my brother from another mother, the one and only Harris Rosen. Harris, are you there?
Oh, Dr. Jolly, thank you so much for those kind words. Really appreciate it.
Man, you are, your story inspires me, inspires so many people, and it's just incredible that you have continued to do what you do to impact people with your hotel and the hospitality business, even in this challenging time. And I know it's been probably, if not the most challenging time you've ever seen, it's probably one of the most. But yet, what we're going to talk about today is not the challenges that you're presently experiencing, because there are a multitude of them, but the fact that you still have the same heart that you had for young people, and the impact you've had on so many young people in the Florida area, and how you've continued to bless them and be a blessing to them. So we got Harris on. We also got Chuck Dubin. Did I say it right, Chuck?
You got it. You nailed it. You nailed it.
Chuck runs Harris's organization, the nonprofit organization, which is what we're going to focus on today, because this is about philanthropy. Now, let me tell you what the word philanthropy means, folks. It means a friend of man. Philanthropy, philios, means friend of man. And this is about philanthropy, and how even in tough times, it's not so much what you do for yourself, but also what you do for others. And that's what we are learning, that it's a possibility that you can do good for others even in challenging times. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Now we got Chuck, we got Harris, and we have also with everybody else, we have Juanita Reed. Now Juanita Reed is a counselor with the Orange County Public Schools. I believe, Miss Reed, you just retired. Is that true?
That's true.
After more than 27 years of helping young people, that you finally...
No.
Oh, so
More
tell me
than 45 years.
45 years? Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Wow. So, but you've been working with Tangelo Park for 27 years. Is that correct?
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
45 years as an educator. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you. And so we've got, the reason we're doing this show is not just to share with you what they have been doing for many, many years in the Orlando area, but to encourage you to maybe see some way that you can help others wherever you are. And we have 3 of the recipients from the Rosen Scholarship Program that are going to be part of this program. So this is going to be a very, very exciting show. And I'll start by just sharing, Harris, tell me a little bit about why you decided to start this program.
Yes, I will. I've been happy to do that, and it's an honor to be with you again, Dr. Jolly. This all started right here in the office I'm in right now. At the desk I am seated by right now. 28 years ago, planning my 7th hotel, and dreaming about one day maybe having a beautiful resort. And then suddenly I said, whoa, time out. That's all you. You can't only think about yourself, Harris. Remember how you grew up. Remember your family. Remember the trials and tribulations that you endured when you were growing up on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And you need to recognize God. And you need to say now, thank you, God, for everything that you've done for me over the years. And perhaps it's time for you to offer a helping hand to those in need. And I said to myself, that's a great idea. What do I do? And the word education came to my mind because it was something my mom and dad encouraged my brother and myself to focus on laser-like. They said, if you ever want to leave the neighborhood, and one day we hope you do, education will be how you do it. So you need to do well in school, need to do well in high school, need to graduate from high school, and if possible, need to try to go to college. Well, I did. I did well in school. I did graduate from high school, and I was accepted to college. And spent 3 years with Uncle Sam right after I graduated, went overseas for a while, and then started my career. And here I was, sitting at my desk, the owner of 6 hotels. Never in my wildest dreams did I anticipate that I ever would be so incredibly blessed. And so now I said, you've got to recognize how blessed you have been and offer a helping hand to those in need and focus that help on education. And so I called a couple of friends of mine to my office the next day, Sarah Sprinkle and Bill Spoon. Bill, the principal of a high school, Dr. Phillips High School here in town, and Sarah, an early childhood expert. We sat down at the desk I'm sitting at right now, and I explained to them the situation. And they said, Harris, education is the... I said, but what do I do? Just give scholarships to college or what? Well, Sarah chimed in and said, no, Harris. We have to start early. Early childhood is so important. So please make sure there's an early childhood component. I said, you got it. And I said, Bill, what do you say? He said, the youngsters have to graduate from high school. Too many are not graduating from high school now. You've got to focus on high school graduation. And then, if the youngsters want to apply to college, community college, or trade school, make it so easy from a financial perspective. Please, Harris, if you can, pay everything. So when your youngsters leave college, they don't owe a penny. And I said, good.
Wow.
Let's put the two together. Let's have early childhood. Let's work hard to graduate from high school. And then let's make sure that if our youngsters want to go to college, they can, or community college, or trade school. And that's the program.
Wow. And folks, they have done it. Chuck's going to come back and tell you he runs the program for Harris and how many they have been able to accomplish that dream that Harris Rosen sat at his desk and put into place. It's going to amaze you. This is Dr. Willie Jolly on the Willie Jolly Wealthy Way Show. We'll be right back. And for sure, your best is yet to come.
Afraid of flying, I always get my dreams on the ground. Life had enough ups and downs, but Lord, since I met you, all that's changed in the blink of an eye. Now all my heart wants to do is fly. You put wings.
Hi, this is Dr. Willie Jolly, host of The Wealthy Way Show here on Sirius XM Channel 141. And I want to invite you to join me every Saturday at 4 o'clock Eastern, where you'll hear the best and the brightest thought leaders tell you how to be healthy, wealthy, and wise, and how to live your dream and make it happen now. I want you to join me on Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time here on Sirius XM Channel 141. This is Dr. Willie Jolly. And remember, your best is yet to come.
There are a ton of social networking websites, but one stands apart for a very special reason. This one saves lives. It's matchingdonors.com. Matchingdonors.com links organ donors with people in need of kidney and other transplants. In the U.S., 22 people die each day waiting for an organ transplant, most of them for kidneys. If you've ever considered becoming a living organ donor, or if you're someone in need of an organ transplant, visit matchingdonors.com, home of the greatest gift of all, the gift of life. MatchingDonors.com.
Hi, this is Angela Stribling, inviting you to join us every Monday through Friday at midnight, right here for our nightly conversations about love, sex, dating, the married life, and it all comes down to having good communication. We get celebrities to chime in, we take your phone calls, we really have a good time. So that's every Monday through Friday right here, 8 to our voices, Sirius XM, Channel 141. Don't miss it.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. We leave no warrior behind. Wounded Warrior Project is a non-profit organization created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war. Whether those scars are physical or mental, we're here to make sure that they heal. And whether it's helping those with post-traumatic stress disorder live a normal life again, or giving much-needed support to injured warriors in veterans' hospitals. Because no one deserves our help more than the men and women who risk their lives to keep us safe. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind. Ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
This is Renee Nash. You know, ladies, we tend to be willing to talk to each other about everything. But when it comes to our finances, we often learn through trial and error. That's why you need to tune in every Friday at 12:30 p.m. to Beyond the Bling. My colleague Muriel Gar and I, we take the mystery out of money. So check out Beyond the Bling Fridays at 12:30 p.m. Eastern right here on Sirius XM Channel 141 HUR Voices. Because, ladies, it's your money. Time to make it your business.
The D to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. A to the T to the T to the I to the T to the U to the D to the E. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's all about your attitude.
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolly on the Willie Jolly Wealthy Ways Show, a special show. I want you all to do me a favor. Everybody who's listening to this show, wherever you may be around the world, I want you to share this show. Tell them it's going to air a number of times because this is so important that we don't want this to blow by, brush by. I want to make this something that everybody realizes that philanthropy is helping others and being a friend to others. And I love what my friend Nito Cobain talked about when he said he came to America with $50 in his name and somebody gave him some money to go to school. And he was able to go to school and out of that get an education. He's now a multimillionaire. He's the president of High Point University and he gives in excess of $10 million annually to scholarships and to programs and to students. He said, there's a great quote by Bartley that says, you should give without remembering and receive without forgetting. And I think you're going to see that today with some of the students who are here, who were students through the program, who are now all achievers because of their ability to be given an opportunity to get an education. Well, Charles Dubin is the Director of Research Initiative for Teaching Effectiveness at the University of Central Florida, where he has been a faculty member since 1970. And since 1996, he has directed the Impact evaluation of UCF's distribution learning initiative. In 2000, Chuck was named UCF's first ever Pegasus Professor for Extraordinary Research, Teaching, and Service. And he is just a go-getter. He runs the program for Harris Rosen. Chuck, tell us some of the things that have been able to be shared and what a program entails and stats and so forth related to the success of the program.
Well, I am honored to do that, and I am just so wonderful. Every time Harris tells a story, I just feel so emotional and so saying that this is the way philanthropy has to be in this country if we're going to move our country ahead. This is so wonderful. Okay, so what you heard then is beginning at 2 years of age, students get a quality preschool education where they learn cognitive skills, executive function, social emotional development, all the way through school. Second grade, 2 years old, third, fourth, into kindergarten, on through elementary school, supported all the way through the public schools with counselors, caring teachers, get to the high school, begin to work with Juanita Reed, who you'll hear with in just a moment, who supports them, helps them with scholarships, helps them choose a college, works with them to make sure they get the right curriculum. All of this provided all the way through this community, every step of the way, at no cost to anyone in the community. Preschool is free, college scholarships are completely paid for, and the results over the years have been remarkable. The expectation in a community like Tangelo would have been 45 college graduates. To date, we have 157 college graduates.
Wow.
We have changed the odds in Tangelo about graduating from college from 9-1 against to 3-1 in favor.
Wow.
Let me say that again.
Say it again.
9-1 against to 3-1 in favor to graduating from college if you stay with this program. This is the kind of support that's happened. The results have been remarkable. 216 college degrees overall, because students are getting multiple degrees. 125 bachelor's degrees, 26 graduate degrees. Okay, 15 vocational certificates. This program has turned this community around and enabled students to do things they never thought they would be able to do.
Let me make sure I got this. You don't just give them secondary. You also give them postgraduate impact?
No, we free them up so they can go and get their own degrees.
Wow.
We don't pay for their graduate degrees.
Okay, but you put them in a position where they don't have any cost for the college degree, so that, like my son, I paid for my son's undergrad. He paid for law school. So I said, you're good for undergrad. You don't have to worry about it. I got you. But he paid for law school. Got it. Okay.
Absolutely. They do not have to drag any undergraduate debt with them. They leave college completely debt-free. We have a parent leadership program that has been going on, so the program has sustained all the way through. And when I say support in the public schools, I'm going to segue to Juanita Reed, who is now with the Rosen Foundation, but who has been the counselor at Dr. Phillips High School, working with the students you'll hear today, and has been vital in doing that. Juanita, tell these people.
Oh, I got to give her a big introduction, because she's the bomb.com. She's the bomb.com. She is. Miss Reed has been with the Tangelo Park program for 27 years, but she's been with the school system for 45 years. Look here what I'm saying. 45 years in the school system. God bless you. And I'm just so impressed with that. She has worked with the students. She has been right there hand in hand with them. And she has ensured that they understand the opportunities and follow through to submit applications so they can take advantage of the scholarship. Because remember, many of these students are first-time college in their families, first person, and they don't know about the college application. They don't know about the deadlines. They don't know about that. And she has done this for over 27 years. You are the bomb.com. Juanita Reed, please join us. Thank you so much. Juanita, are you there?
I'm here.
Tell me more about what it was like to work with these students, the challenges, the successes, and all the above. Please tell us more.
It was a great opportunity. Unlike any scholarship program that I worked with in the past, this one was not what I was expecting to hear when I was asked to take over the Tangelo Park Scholarship. I have all of the students in the community. All of the students in the community are assigned to me. And in working with them, I feel that it's important to get to know the students. And I know them very well because I actually started working with them in 8th grade. Some I have met earlier because they were the siblings of some of the oldest students. When we first started working with the scholarship, my immediate question was, no one gives scholarship money and not expect something in return. What does Mr. Rosen want? He has to want something. And all he wanted was for the young people in Tangelo Park to do well in school, dream, have hope, go to college, technical school, and not have to worry about the cost.
Wow.
I have loved, first of all, I love being a school counselor because I believe in the power and freedom that being educated, skilled provides each person. I feel blessed to be able to watch as students find their passion, develop their knowledge, skills, and make a plan for their future. I meet them in 8th grade, and they are so excited and they're so eager coming to high school. And in counseling with them to help prepare their courses, I always tell them, I say, whatever bad habits you have, leave it right here in middle school. Leave it in middle school. I want you to bring all of your strong study skills, your good habits, bring them to high school because this is where everything starts. You will now be able to choose a college of your choice and work towards it. Some of the students
they get to go to the college of their choice?
They go to the college. All of them have choices.
Wow.
But the schools that fall into our scholarship program, they're public schools in the state of Florida.
Okay, Florida
They
State
could go
College.
to any Florida State public colleges or even the public community colleges that are now called state colleges. We have state colleges, state universities, as well as technical schools. I said that will be dictated by your academic performance in school. If you do not want to work hard, it's going to limit your choices. As I said, some of them think that I'm mean because I try to push them to the limit. A lot of them want to take the easy way out. Sometimes they will seek the support of their parents. My mom says, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that. I say, but if you want to go to Florida State, if you want to go to FAMU, if you want to go to if you want to go to UF, these are the things we need to put in place and make sure it happens for you. I work with them. I develop their schedules from freshman year all the way until they graduate. It's not always easy, but we get through it.
Wow.
And they graduate.
And they graduate. Wow.
And they graduate.
Wow.
I have a lot of NFL students, a lot of NBA, and I usually laugh because some of my students who want to be professional football players, you could get their whole shape out of a hanger. but they want to be a linebacker, and they want to go to NFL. So we work our way through that too.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What a great story. By the way, I want to just applaud you because later on in this interview, I've done some little brief research. Some of the students who we're going to talk to were encouraged by you when you saw something in them when they didn't see it in themselves. And you went beyond and above the big call of duty. So I want to applaud you and just thank you for your commitment to our young people over these years, 45 years in the school system and over 27 years with this program. By the way, folks, everybody who's listening, I want you to be willing and able to know more about how you can learn more about this incredible program. If you would just go to TangeloParkProgram.com, TANGELO Park, PARK program.com. That's where you can find more information about the program. And then you can find more about Mr. Rosen's charitable programs from Rosen, ROSEN givesback.com, RosenGivesback.com. And I want to actually say that we want to go and get some of these lovely young people on the line and get them involved because you got to hear their stories, folks. This is something that is profoundly impactful, and I want to hear from them because they are all achievers. These are not people who are just taking it and doing nothing with this opportunity. They are achieving great results. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to go to station identification, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to talk to Kenneth Swift, and then to Jamez Morris, and then Tyra Cummings. And I'm going to tell you, you're going to be inspired like I have been inspired just getting a few minutes offline to talk to them. This is Dr. Willie Jolly on the Willie Jolly Wealthy Way Show. And you stay tuned because we've got some great material and information for you coming right up. We'll be right back.
The Howard University Radio Network is WHUR 96.3 FM, WHUR World 96.3 HD2, student-run WHBC HD3, GlassHouseRadio.com, SiriusXM Channel 142, HBCU, and SiriusXM Channel 141. HUR Voices, Washington.
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolly on the Willie Jolly Wealthy Ways Show, and I want to thank you for tuning in. And I'm excited that you're part of our community, and we've got so many more shows to come that will bless you. And I encourage everybody who is listening to make sure you check out any and all of the shows that we do on my podcast on iHeartRadio, C-Suite Radio, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. Look for the Willie Jolly Wealthy Ways podcast. Well, you've heard from Harris Rosen, how he sat at his desk and knew he had been blessed, and God had blessed him, and he wanted to be a blessing to others. And, you know, I love this quote, and I'll share the quote while I'm thinking of it, about what inspires me about Harris Rosen. It's a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. It says, "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others." And that's what Harris Rosen has done. He has made a foundation that really does serve others. And again, I want you to go to TangeloParkProgram.com and to RosenGivesBack.com so you can learn more about the program. And maybe here's what I want everybody to consider. What can you do? What can you do where you are? You may not have a big hotel empire, but maybe you can do a little something for somebody. Or if you are someone who can give a scholarship or start a program, I want you to reach out to the Rosen Foundation, to Rosen Gives Back. Maybe they can give you some insights on how you too can do something like this. Well, now we've heard from Mr. Rosen, we've heard from Chuck Dubin, we've heard from Juanita Reed, and now we are excited about talking to the young people. Kenneth Swift, let me tell you about Kenneth. Kenneth Swift was born and raised in Tangelo Park. He has extended family members who were also involved in the Rosen program. His grandmother, Georgia Gordon, was one of the original child care providers. His aunt was a scholarship recipient attending the University of South Florida. Kenneth really first understood the significance of the scholarship when he was in the 8th grade and interviewed Mr. Rosen on the phone for a school project. He couldn't believe he would hear from Mr. Rosen personally and that Mr. Rosen would take the time to speak with him, and he learned more about the program through the interview. His aunt and sister knew about the program and had encouraged him to be involved. He went to FSU, where he joined Phi Alpha, where he is still active today with the Orlando chapter. He does a lot of work with the chapter, including raising funds for education. He continues on with that achievement. He is a mover, shaker, and he's doing great things. Kenneth Swift, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Tell us where you are now and what you're doing now.
Yes, sir. I'm in Orlando, Florida, and I'm a financial advisor for Equitable Advisors, and currently I'm actively pursuing my Certified Financial Planner designation, and I've been an advisor for 7 years.
Wow. Okay, so that's where you are today, and you're active in AFIA, and you're active in a lot of programs helping young people, from what I understand, around the Orlando area. So, but where did you come from?
I was born and raised in Orlando, so Tangelo Park is home. That's where my heart is. My grandparents live there. My godparents live there. My friends are all there, church members. So I bleed Tangelo Park, and I'm part of the YMCA, the church, and the school while I was there. I have various family members who graduated from college, but my first time actually seeing a college campus was when my aunt received a scholarship from Mr. Rosen, and we went to USF to view her dorm and just to view the campus, and it was an eye-opening experience. My first time seeing a college campus and thinking, maybe I can do this one day.
Wow. So tell me about the impact this scholarship had on you and obviously on your family.
Oh, it has had a great impact. I remember vividly my first year, my roommate, he was worrying about expenses and deciding on what books he had to buy. And that's when it dawned on me. That's when I realized little old me here at Florida State University, and all that I have to do is go to the bookstore, hand them a piece of paper, and I can get any book in the store that I need for my classes.
Wow.
So that was the first time that I knew that this was real, that this was different, and that I was experiencing something that others just don't have that opportunity to experience.
Wow. So now you're able to see the impact of education. What would you say to, I want you to say something to first young people about the power of education, and then to what Mr. Rosen's big heart has had on you and how maybe others can be inspired by his model.
Well, education will take you places you didn't even know you could go. When I was going to Florida State, didn't know what I was going to do on campus, but I knew I wanted to get involved, and I was involved in various organizations in student government. I was the budget chairman for our student senate, allocating millions of dollars across campus, and this Kendall Swift from Tazewell Park was the chairman, and I joined the Alpha Phi Alpha at Florida State University, and it was just a great experience. Those are my lifelong brothers. We travel together. We do a lot of things together that without Mr. Rosen may not have happened. Who would have known where I would have gone? Couldn't afford Florida State at the time. So it's had a true impact, but in various areas that you don't think about. You have to actually, take your time and say, if I didn't go to Florida State, what would have changed? And, my life would have been totally different.
Wow. What a great testimony. We're going to come back to you in a little while. I want to introduce Jamez Morris. She now with Sherwin-Williams in Orlando Human Resources, but she is a lady who has a bachelor's degree in psychology with a minor in criminal justice. She's currently pursuing a master's degree in counseling. She's the second oldest of 4 daughters, and all of whom, not one of whom, but all of whom took advantage of the Rosen Scholarship. Jamez, welcome to the show. Tell us a little bit more about where you are now.
Thank you. Right now, I am working at Sherwin-Williams as a human resource agent. I handle money. I handle the dispute. I deal with everything dealing with money. Never thought I would do that, but I'm good at it, and I love it.
Wow. It's good that you're good at it. I'm glad to hear that. All right. So where did you come from? You mentioned your sisters and your family have been impacted by this Rosen Scholarship. Tell us more.
I'm born and raised in Orlando, Florida, Tazewell Park. Come from a single parent home. I am the third oldest of 4 girls. Starting with my older sister, she paved the way for all of us. She took advantage of the Harris Rosen Scholarship. She inspired me, impacted me. Even today, we're doing our grad program together. We're going to the same school. I help her with her homework. She helps me, and we kind of motivate each other. So that's where I am today. So starting with her all the way to my baby sister, we all are educated women in different fields, but we all connected, and hopefully we'll open up a center together one day.
And are all of you Rosen scholars?
Yes.
Wow. And all are achievers. Wow. I am so impressed with you. And you learned about the scholarship when you were in middle school, and you took advanced classes and you excelled in them. And with Dr. Reed's assistance, you became involved in the program. Is that correct?
Yes, Miss Reed. I'll go to her office and I'll tell her, she'll try to push me into advanced class. I'm like, I don't think I'm capable. But one thing I remember is having someone to believe in us before we could believe in ourselves. Really
say that again. Girl, say that again. Say that again. Say that again.
Having someone believe in us before we can believe in ourselves really helped, push us and impact us so greatly. Even when I wanted to quit, I can just remember, somebody believed in me, so I can believe in myself, and that's Mr. Rosen. He came in. I started off in a 2-year-old program, so to start off that young, where I'm a part of something close knit, I can even go back to Ms. Reed now. I can go back to Mr. Rosen. He's, available, open door policy. Miss Jones, who daycare I went to, I can go back and talk to her. I go back and I see pictures and everything. So, it's truly like an impact on my life. And to reach back and give it back to youth, I would love to do that.
Wow. I am so inspired. I shared that line. That's why I wanted you to repeat it, because when I was just starting as a speaker, I was invited to be in a picture with Les Brown and Zig Ziglar, the two greatest speakers at that point on the planet. And the photographer said, I had never thought I'd get the three speakers who've had the greatest impact in my life in the same room at the same time. We're in a conference. And he told me, get in the picture. I said, I don't belong in that picture. I'm not that good. He said, get in the picture. Your books and your speeches have empowered me, inspired me. And I realized that day, sometimes you got to go on somebody else's belief in you till yours kicks in. And that's what you just said. You just inspired me, girl. I am so proud of you. Well, we got one more person. We're going to get in. Tyra Cummings is the dean. Come on, Dean. Robinson Wood Middle School in Orlando. She was a juvenile corrections officer and probation officer for 5 years. Then she became a teacher. You got to hear her story about how she became a teacher in Georgia and is now the dean, the real deal dean of a middle school in Orlando. And she moved back to Tangelo Park with her 15-year-old son with the benefit of the Rosen Scholarship. And her parents still live in Tangelo Park. And has a younger sister and brother, both of whom were Rosen Scholar. Similar to Kenneth, Tyra didn't really come to understand the value of the scholarship until she started hearing others in college talk about finances, about having to watch budgets, and she didn't have to worry about that. Tyra, thank you for being with us. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
Fine. So I gave them a kind of thumbnail sketch of where you are now. You're the dean of a middle school.
Yes, sir.
And you have been a probation officer and a juvenile correction officer, and then you got a teacher. But you got to tell everybody. We got 1 minute into this segment. I'm gonna come back to you. How did you become a teacher? Tell that story.
Miss Reed, like the other one said, she pushed all of us. I came from a 2-parent home, and I knew we had no choice but to go to school. But it was just a burden that was lifted off our parents because they didn't have to pay for us to go to school. So I want to say thank you to Mr. Rosen on behalf of my family. My brother and sister and my parents. But it was just a remarkable experience just going through undergrad, not having to worry, like Kenneth said, about books, about a meal plan, about if your dorm was going to be paid for. We didn't have to worry about any of those. My sister is a graduate of Florida A&M, and my brother has his 2-year degree from Valencia Community College.
Your brother does?
He does.
Okay. And he's educated. Your sister's educated, and he's educated. Your sister's educated, and you're now an educator. And all of you have been impacted by Harris Rosen's willingness to give scholarships to your family. Isn't that? Oh, in fact, before we go any further, hold that thought for 1 second, Tyra. We're going to take a quick break. I want to come back to you as soon as we come back, and I want you to dig in a little deeper about the impact it had on all of that. This is Dr. Willie Jolly and the Willie Jolly Wealthy Way Show. And for sure, your best is yet to come. We'll be right back.
Pick up the phone and just
Friendship is not about being convenient. It's about being committed and consistent.
You can call on me
when you need me.
Call me. You can call on me.
Call me.
You can call on me.
Pick up the phone.
You can call
and call me.
If you really knew me.
If you really knew me.
Yeah. If you really knew Miguel, you would know.
Well, I fell in love with music early on. Ooh, the very first song I wrote, I can't really tell you about. It was about some girl. I grew up in a time in Los Angeles where there was a lot of racial tension between Mexicans and blacks.
Want to know more? Check out the Artist Lounge, Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays on SiriusXM Channel 141 HUR Voices.
HUR Voices invites you to join us Sundays for Gospel Spirit. Beginning at 4 a.m. Eastern Time, we'll have the best in traditional gospel music to uplift, encourage, and inspire. From Dottie Peoples to Thomas Dorsey, from the Caravans to the Winans, they all can be found on Gospel Spirit. Turn to Channel 141 on SiriusXM to start your Sunday with HUR Voices. Let's get lifted together on Gospel Spirit on HUR Voices, SiriusXM, Channel 141.
I was 11 years old at my first national championships. I fell I don't know how many times.
Michelle Kwan is the most decorated figure skater in U.S. history.
But I had a dream. My dream came true because I dedicated myself.
Dedication made Michelle Kwan a champion.
I was passionate about something and I made sure that I worked hard for it.
And dedication can make your dreams a reality.
Whatever your dream and goals are, they can come true.
Dedication. Pass it on from the Foundation for a Better Life at Values.com.
SiriusXM Channel 141 presents Voices Specials, radio documentaries that explore the African American experience. Voices Specials will educate, entertain, and inform you about the unique experience of Black Americans. Voices Specials will enlighten and encourage with in-depth exploration of politics, education, civil rights, economics, social justice, and entertainment. Voices Specials will air the last Friday of each month on HUR Voices SiriusXM Channel 141. Tune in and join us.
Welcome to the Orphan Diaries. Here's the founder of Food for Orphans, Gary Van Dyke.
Ken doesn't know how old he is. He guesses at around 7. His whole life has been centered on finding food. You see, he lives at a dump and he's never been anywhere else. You can find Ken walking in a decaying landfill of rotting garbage, plastic bags, and shards of broken glass. To many, Ken and children like him are invisible. But they're not, are they?
For more information, visit www.foodfororphans.org.
Innovative treatments and cures can help solve our biggest healthcare cost challenges. Hi, I'm Diane Alexander, Executive Director of Women in Government. The U.S. is projected to spend $13.5 trillion on hospital care over the next decade. It's more important than ever that new medicines be developed that will keep patients healthy and out of the hospital. Our members support the 854,000 biopharmaceutical sector employees working in the U.S. to meet and beat our biggest health challenges. To learn more, visit FromHopeToCures.org.
And we're back. This is Dr. Willie Jolly. What a show we've got today. We've got a show that will inspire you. I want you to get your children around this radio. I want on this podcast, wherever you're listening. I want you to get your co-workers, your family members. I want you to get people who say, I want to make a difference. I'm tired of seeing people not living up to their potential and their possibilities. And I want to do something. Well, listen to this show and see how it can inspire you to make a difference. We're talking to Tyra. Tyra is now the dean of a middle school in Orlando. She was a juvenile corrections officer, probation officer, then became a teacher with the encouragement of Miss Reed, Juanita Reed, and she now is just excelling. Tell us a little more about the impact of that Rosen Scholarship, not just on you, but on your siblings.
I have been a special educator for the past 14 years. I started my teaching career in Atlanta, Georgia, and then I transitioned back to Orange County.
Wow. So tell me about the impact of Harris Rosen on your life.
Mr. Rosen kind of pushed me in a sense where, like I said, I knew I was going to college. I had no choice coming from my parents' house. But it just inspired me to give back. Because I've been a coach, I've sponsored mentor programs, and just to show you how big his heart is, I was living in Atlanta. I was sponsoring my mentor program, which was called Approaching Perfection for middle school girls, and I was looking for someone to take them for an outing or trip. So we were going to come to Orlando, and I called Mr. Rosen, contacted the hotel, and he gave us rooms. So he was willing to give us rooms for $25 so that he could help absorb some of the costs for the girls to actually come down and just spend the weekend in Orlando. So benevolence is one of the things that is really, really big for me. I try to give as much as I can to whomever needs it. Because being a special educator, you see that everyone learns different and you see the world in a whole nother spectrum. So it's just part of me now, seeing that I have been sown into. So it's really, really easy for me to sow into others.
Wow. 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 Folks, I don't know if anybody else who's listening is filled up like I'm filled up. But this is such a blessing to be able to hear these stories that not only did they get blessed, but now they are blessing others with their lessons about success. So I'm gonna go back to Kenneth for a second. Kenneth, now that you're a financial advisor and you know about money, and then a couple other folks have talked about money. This is a big deal that kids can't go to school because of money, and yet Mr. Rosen made it possible. So I want to ask you, if you were going to talk to young people and to potential people who could maybe bless some other people, what would you say to them?
That this is an awesome way to give back to disadvantaged communities, people who may not have the means but have the drive and ambition to be better. I work with clients every day, individuals, small business owners, and a lot of my individuals are burdened with student loan debt. Therefore, they're now unable to invest into their 401ks, build an emergency savings, save for a home, things that we take for granted when you don't have the financial burden of student loan debt. And so it's huge, and you're getting a monumental head start when you're able to leave college, embark on a career, join a company, and now save and invest for your future and to build wealth for the next generation. It's huge, and it can't be understated.
Wow. Wow. I want to ask the same question to Jamez. Tell me your take on that. If you were going to talk to some people who may be able to bless somebody else and say, hey, let me tell you the impact it can have. Go ahead, Jamez.
I live by, in order to become a well-rounded person, you have to step outside the box and shape those edges. So I would say, to go above and beyond, to give back to people. You never know what someone else may be going through. So I would just say be kind to everybody, and whenever you can, give back. It may be encouraging words, it may be money, it may be, clothes. You just never know. I would just say give back as much as possible, every chance you get.
Amen. And I'll ask the same question to Tyra. You're going to speak to some people who potentially could be the next young Harris Rosen. What would you encourage them about your story that could encourage them?
I would encourage them to do it. It's always a blessing to be a blessing, because you never know who you're going to impact. You never know. Being an educator, we never know who we're shaping. We could be shaping the next president. We could be shaping the person who's going to find a cure for corona. So if you pour into, you'll get more out of.
Wow. Wow. Woo, this is one for the ages. This is one of the best shows I've had in many years, because I'm able to hear a dream, then see the dream manifested, and then see partners. You got a Chuck Dubin, you got a Juanita Reed. Juanita, I do want to go back to you. Many of these young people, and I'm sure if we had some of those NBA players and some of those NFL football players would say, let me tell you how Miss Reed stayed on my case to make me get an education, and now look at my life. Tell me just what was your inspiration to do that?
Being a counselor, we have a unique role. And my favorite thing about being a counselor is getting to build relationships with the students and parents. I love getting to know my students and having the opportunity to support them by helping them learn, challenge themselves academically to prepare them for college, and the social-emotional skills they need to be successful. A lot of them don't realize how far they can go. They have to realize how far they can go with preparation. It doesn't cost anything to go to class, do what is expected of you, and fulfill your dreams. All of the kids have dreams. It bothers me when I come in contact with a student and I ask them, where do you see yourself 4 years from now? Huh? I don't know. I say, wrong answer. I need you to come up with something. I could go to Tangelo Park Elementary School and talk to kids in first grade and ask that question. And they come up with a fireman, a police officer. I'm going to be an actor, whatever. You have to have a dream. You have to set goals for yourself. If you're willing to work, I will work with you.
Wow.
If you give up, I'm going to try to keep you from giving up.
Wow.
I try to get parents more involved. Some parents I do not meet until the senior year, but it's important because they need to know exactly what is ahead for their kids, how far they can go. And in talking, when you talk to the students and they're saying that while they're in college, they've been in their dorm rooms, and because I mentioned it to them before they even go. I said, that's when you're going to understand the true impact of this scholarship, because you don't have to worry. Everything is in place. Most of my students and parents, they don't know how much college costs.
Right.
Because the bills come to me.
Wow.
They come to me. It doesn't go to them.
Wow.
All they have to do is work hard, do well, and they will be successful.
Wow. Well, I just want to applaud you. The numbers speak for everything. The Rosen Tangelo Park program has 540 high school graduates, 438 Rosen scholars, and they continue to grow. I want to encourage people, before I throw it back to Harris for 1 minute to say whatever's on his heart, that I want you to go to Tangelo.
Willie, give me 1 minute, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
1 second.
Yes, please.
Okay, you've heard 3 phenomenal stories today.
Yes.
You can add 154 more stories to the Tangelo story.
Wow.
There are 150 more college graduates coming from this. Imagine the impact this program has had on this one community. Imagine if we had 10 Tangelos, 100 Tangelos, 1,000 Tangelos in this country.
Wow. And that's what I want to encourage people. So, Chuck, if somebody was interested in starting their own Tangelo Park program, would you recommend they go to the TangeloParkProgram.com? The Rosen Gives Back.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you would be able to help them understand the how to make it work. Would you do that?
Absolutely.
We
would be more than happy to do it.
Wow, great. Well, I want everybody who's listening to go to Tangelo, Tangelo Parkprogram.com. Read up on it. Look into it. And then go to RosenGivesBack.com. See how philanthropy can change your life by what you do for others. I close with a minute of my friend, my brother from another mother, Harris Rosen. Harris, floor is yours.
It was amazing. I'm glad that this is not being televised, because people will wonder, why do I have tears rolling down my cheek? To listen to those 3 youngsters is so incredibly inspiring. It makes me feel so proud. And so my hope and my prayer is that someone listening will say, why can't we do that?
Right.
Why can't we do that?
Yes.
And that's my hope and prayer.
Wow. Thank you, Harris Rosen. Thank you, Anita Reed. Thank you, Chuck Dubin. Thank you, Jamez Morris. Thank you, Tyra Cummings. Thank you, Kenneth Swift. And I want to thank all of my listeners today. And I also got to give a shout out to Mary Dietrich PR. Y'all look her up. Mary Dietrich at Dietrich PR, because she put all this together, made sure all of the logistics. She's doing a great work. I want to thank everybody who's listening. Pass this on. Share it with others. Encourage others. In a time where Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, they matter, that we must do all we can to show that we are committed to helping others to have greater success. This is Dr. Willie Jolly on the Willie Jolly Wealthy Way Show, and for sure, your best is yet to come. God bless you.